The next chapter is about to begin. Join us live every Tuesday and Thursday for brand new episodes of the American Contractor Show. Our mission is to bring you the latest tools, innovations, and knowledge to help you become the most informed contractor in your market. Knowledge is the ultimate power, and we are connecting you with the most knowledgeable minds in our industry. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. American Contractors, I hope you're ready. This one's for you.
This is Larry Bache with the Northern Law Group, helping policyholders for more than 30 years. If you have a claim or your client has a claim that needs help, please feel free to call the Northern Law Group because we are the true policyholder advocate.
C3 was eager to help us, and even whenever we weren't giving them work, they were still eager to give advice. The things that they were putting out for the for changing from DMO to RFG and giving that to the industry and not charging anything for it, I thought was really cool. And that's stuff that I, as a contractor, appreciate. I'd recommend C3 to any contractor who's looking for a PA, especially if you're around Colorado. Great guys, man. I'm nothing but happy with the work they've done for us.
What's up, everybody? This is John Choquette and Derek Kline here, not in front of the green screen. This is our premiere of our brand new studio that we're going to be using for all kinds of stuff here in the future. And we're going to be talking today about the #1 wind event. And if you guys saw our post about an hour ago, it's Hurricane Laura. And conveniently, we went to it. So we figured this would be a cool time to do stuff beyond just pictures on a green screen. So first, we'll thank C3 Group, Northern Law Group, and Balance Claims. Always, they're in the description. Check it out below. I think we'll have tags for me and Derek, too.
I know Balance has a pretty big event happening tomorrow.
It is.
It's $99 too, so it's all virtual. You should get it. You should go check it out. It's definitely 2 days of keynote speakers. Pretty good stuff. So maybe we can post a link in the chat somewhere at some point. We'll find it and get it posted in there. But $99, pretty sweet. Yeah. But Hurricane Laura, that was it's pretty intense.
Yeah, that was my most intense hurricane. So Derek goes on all of them, obviously. I did not get to go to Hurricane Michael due to my family was in town. So
but even Laura was more intense for us and Michael because we were on the northwest quadrant of the hurricane. So we got the hardest hit. We got in the eye, which we didn't in Michael. So it was intense. I know damage-wise, people, anybody, if you're working in Hurricane Michael, or not Michael, Laura, post in the comments like, hey, I'm down here right now in Hurricane Laura. Because I know the people that are there working it have said it's beyond anything they could fathom, just how damaging it actually was.
Yeah, I mean, when we drove around afterwards, we have some video of it that we'll show in a little bit. Like, it looked like a bomb went off in the whole city. Like, Lake Charles isn't the biggest city out there. It's, 80,000 people maybe, something along the lines of that. But the whole area got completely destroyed. That's why it was #1. It did $14 billion in damage, possibly more. Obviously, all that kind of settles in once all the insurance claims and whatnot are all done. But, I mean, utter destruction. I'm sure a lot of you guys saw our stream. Miraculously, we were able to live stream. Big shout out to Verizon for we were able to stream for 2 straight hours during the worst of the hurricane and never once lost coverage till we were like in the middle of the eye.
Had about 150,000 people watch that video, just to let you know how intense it actually was.
Yeah,
a lot of roofs.
Yeah. So we'll probably we'll go over some video. I clipped out some stuff. A lot of it wasn't from the stream. We had other people at the chase with us taking some footage. I mean, it's all kind of the same stuff, but it's from different angles.
I think what people are going to find most interesting is some of the stuff that we saw that really highlights why there are pockets of really, really severe damage and then just severe damage.
Yeah.
Like, because there are definitely, if you haven't been to Lake Charles, you'll find a street where like everything is completely demolished, like a significant tornado hit the area. And then you'll go into other neighborhoods where it's severely damaged, but it's, roofs, shingles missing and trees down, but it's not entire walls pushed down.
Yeah.
And so I think you'll see some of that in our video, why certain areas received that, because I know right down the street that huge radio tower came down right next to us, and it just showed kind of the violent nature of the wind itself. So
I guess probably before we go into videos, maybe just for the sake of, hang on, there we go. Should we get it? There we go. I was gonna bring it up. There we go. A little bit of a delay there with the iPad, but
the one thing that I regret the most from Hurricane Laura is I don't think we looked up when we got in the eye, because it was dark. It was, what was it, like 2 a.m. or something?
Well,
it was really late. I know that midnight, 1 o'clock.
I have a screenshot in here.
But we missed. We didn't look up to actually see that we were in clear skies.
So I have this screenshot that should pop up in a second here of the radar, I think, that I took from a 3:47 in the morning. If it'll actually come up. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. So there we're actually moving across the backside now.
Yeah, so I don't know when we actually got in the eye, but that was when we were in it, and I had the thought of, I should take a screenshot. I'm in the eye of probably the most intense hurricane of the year. And so at 3:47 in the morning, we had been in the eye for a while, but we never actually knew it because it was so intense the whole time. And what made Laura sort of unique is even within the eye itself, we had some very intense winds that were almost like little tornadoes in the middle of the hurricane, which were pretty crazy. So
a lot of expectations. Like, there was flooding was a big talk with Laura. It didn't flood in Lake Charles, so we'll talk about why it didn't flood there. We'll talk about why the damage was so severe in certain spots and less severe in other spots, and why the damage was also so widespread as well. So it's kind of twofold. But yeah, pretty interesting stuff that we get to talk about. Ask your questions in the chat. We'll try to answer those as we can. We can see them pop up on the screen just like you guys.
Pretty much right on Derek's chair, so just like how it is before. And then we got other people keeping an eye. We actually have like a producing team now. So before we even get into it, we should probably mention how we chase these things, how we don't get ourselves killed every time.
Yeah, so we don't just drive down there and get into the storm. And so so like we do a pretty detailed forecast. There's actually a lot of targets that we drop, I guess. So like on our way down from Oklahoma, so we're in Oklahoma City, driving down towards Lake Charles, several things that we do. We pick all the different towns that all the different towns that could have been hit. And so we had, was it Lake Arthur was one of them.
Beaumont was our
Beaumont
first
was
one
of them.
Yeah,
we even looked at Houston some. Initially it had some ideas of Houston. We had Lake Charles. We had all the towns that were east of Lake Charles that we had to look at as well, just to get an idea of where we might end up going. And then once we figure those towns out where the hurricane could make landfall, we have to find safe spots inside of those. And it's not just a matter of, this is a healthy structure. There's also the water aspect, especially in Louisiana, where the shoreline doesn't rise by a whole lot. So storm surge was forecasted to get all the way to I-10, which would have put Lake Charles anywhere from 5 to 10 feet below water. You can't survive 10 feet below water in 145 mile an hour winds. It's just impossible.
We pretty much were like, all right, it's parking garage or nothing.
So we were able to find us a parking garage. We found a handful of them. We tried to pick the one that looked like it would have the best views, in all directions. But with that, you also have to move around in the parking garage as the winds shift. Because we had a lot of different wind direction, which is why we didn't flood as well. But we started out at the north, and we ended up being out of the southwest, and we even had winds out of the east at times. So a lot of different aspects to take into account.
Yeah, so yeah, we found a parking garage. We ended up being about 4 stories up, and it was directly next to another parking garage that was also this whole like apartment building that had just been built, or townhomes or something like that. And we originally in that one, and that's how we had access to bathrooms and stuff. We were able to, I think Derek chatted up one of the residents, and we were able to utilize real plumbing, which when you're chasing a hurricane,
nice.
you don't think about until you're there, and you're like, I gotta pee, and you're like, uh-oh. But so when we got there, I think the whole Lake Charles Police Department ended up being in the parking garage that we were originally in.
Yep.
And we were like, okay, we don't have like good vantage point at all of what we can see. So we ended up being the one where if you watched our stream, you saw we were able to see whatever that tall building is, that 20-something
Capital One building.
The Capital One building. We could see the Wendy's and all of downtown. So we picked that one and kind of hung out there the whole night, which was...
It was a long night.
Long night. Yeah. Seems like hurricanes like to make landfall overnight.
For some reason.
You have to struggle through that. We also had the issue, and it'll be in the videos here, there are about 50 other chasers that were in the exact same spot we were. And that was one of my first times even being around other storm chasers. You know, typically it's a whole community and whatnot, but typically we don't see too many people because we're out either in the middle of the plains, we're kind of on our own chasing a hurricane, just getting our own footage and doing whatnot. So that added a whole other weird element to it all. So
yeah, for sure. So
I guess should we talk about why the storm surge didn't happen before we start showing videos, or?
I think go back to the radar image. I think we can do it off of that. That might
Yeah,
actually help give us a little viewpoint as to why.
Come on.
Well, because what was interesting, so you have to think about the direction. So there are actually two parts to storm surge, and when you can maximize both of those, you get the maximum storm surge. So the first part is the storm itself. So look at the eye of the hurricane, right? So you can kind of see it. It's, like this. So as it moves up like this, it actually pushes water on shore. Okay, so it's kind of like a tsunami. It has like a bubble of water where it just kind of pushes everything on shore. So that's the first part of storm surge, and you have to understand that side of it. But then you also have the wind going around the storm, and the winds don't blow around in a circle like this. They actually blow into the center. So, they're basically going to funnel in, in arrows pointing towards the center, and the further you get out, they kind of curve in to where they hit to the center. So you can see, like for example, where we're at currently on the hurricane in the eye, we're on the southeast side of the eye. So what that would do is that would give us winds basically out of the southeast. So they're going to be trying to go to the center of the hurricane. And so a southeast wind in that location is a wind off of Lake Arthur, which is land. And so even though we had that bubble of water that was coming up, the wind wasn't contributing to help assist that bubble of water on shore. So you only had one piece of the pie in Lake Charles, which was you had the bubble, but even beforehand, we had a north wind the entire time. So the wind, even though we had the bubble trying to come onshore, we had the wind pushing the water offshore. And so they were actually fighting against each other. But if you go east over towards like Lake Arthur and Cameron and some of those areas, that's where the hurricane came onshore, the bubble came with it, and they had the onshore flow. So the air was coming off the Gulf of Mexico, and that contributed to, I think there was a record storm surge out of it. It was just east of Lake Charles was the issue.
Yeah.
It was like 17 foot, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. So the fact that Lake Charles got into the eye, so we got the worst winds, which obviously did insane amount of damage. However, it did save the city from storm surge, which, again, us chasing, we're not going to know that going into it. We're just expecting, we look on a storm, the National Hurricane Center has a resource we can use that is basically worst case scenario for storm surge for whatever category hurricane you're at. And it had all of Lake Charles underwater, and we're like, well, we account for that, because if not, we're going to lose not even our truck. It was another one of the meteorologists here It's his vehicle, and he would have been upset if we lost the vehicle. So we had to make sure that we were good. But lucked out for storm surge, not so much for the wind.
Yeah, the wind was rough.
Yeah. So I guess now we can start going over some videos.
Let's look at them. I'm excited. The videos are the.
Yeah.
Is this our? Oh no, there's sound on this one. So.
Yep. Yeah, you can still hear. So this is pretty much right when things are really getting.
So we've lost power. It looks like, right? So the electricity that you see in the building across the street is from a generator. It had a generator.
Yeah, and we were taking advantage of the generator.
You can actually hear glass falling out of it.
Yeah. So this is when a lot of the damage is occurring. Like you can.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, see, like you can hear that, and that's like huge panes of glass that are blowing out of that building.
Yeah.
I don't know if people can estimate what the wind is there, but those wind speeds, like especially when it picks up, like right there. Oh, there we go. Look at it. It really takes off. Watch all the glass.
It's like just like 130.
Yeah, you're hitting about 130.
Yeah. So at this point, this is a little after the initial.
Hey, Lee hates
pressure
watching.
plate. Yeah. What's up, Lee?
He's got an awesome event coming up in Miami. Lee, maybe you can post in the comments a link. I know we're going to be there. I'm excited to be attending that, but it's in March. I can't remember the date right now. There's too many things. Listen to all the glass, though. Okay, so for those of you, that's the Capital One building, just right, like that's the atrium that you're looking at, and then right on the edge there of the parking garage, you can see the tower going up.
Roll it back like a couple seconds. This is one of the parts where you can see it's like I don't know, some kind of sheet metal, and it like slides into.
Oh yeah, it goes into one of the windows into the atrium. That atrium was destroyed after this thing was over with. I mean, there was like insulation hanging out of it. We actually found out there was a guy inside of that Capital One building too, which is crazy. He was like the maintenance guy, right?
Yeah. I think this is when the car pulls back and they're like, screw this.
The interesting thing is, like, so with hurricanes, they're not going to flip a car. I think most people think, winds of this magnitude, 130, 140 miles an hour. I think they measured, like 145 in Lake Charles. Who knows when that wind gust occurred, but somewhere in there's tons of winds. But you see cars driving around in there, so, like, what's the danger of driving around with a car? Well, the biggest dangers that you're going to find, it's not going to flip the car. The car's not going anywhere. And the reason is the wind in a hurricane actually comes down. So it's a downward forcing wind. So it actually pushes the car down and helps it stick to the concrete better.
It wiggles the car a lot, though.
It does shake the car a lot, for sure. But it's not going to flip it. You're not going to flip. It's the debris, right? That glass, those big panes of glass, if one of those hit your vehicle, they would just go right through it. So that's the dangerous side of it, being out and about and driving around in the middle of a hurricane. It's not, again, you can drive around just fine.
But when it's strong like that, I mean, you also can't really see.
No, you can't see anything.
You can't see. I mean, imagine the worst rain you've ever driven in.
And then multiply it by 10.
Yeah, multiply it by 10. You get the winds at this level. So that's why we also stay put. Again, when we stream or do video and stuff, it makes for better video when you don't see windshield wipers.
You just can't see in a car when you're trying to video. That's the main reason why we don't drive around.
Yeah, but
gives you all a better shot.
For like this next clip, this is actually a little earlier. I think this is right when the first window in the whole skyscraper breaks,
and they just cut loose from there. It was like once one went, the pressure equalized in the building, and it was done.
Game over. Whole thing fell apart. I think this one is also where we'll have our first instance of a storm chaser who decided to drink a little too much.
How is it? Did we see him out there?
Yeah, this is this is not from the stream. This is from Allie, who does a lot of our filming. Yeah, and she has a reaction to this. There may be some swearing in here, so just a heads up. I wasn't able to scrub the audio too much, so just that's a warning, mature content warning. We got a little freaked out, thought we were gonna see somebody die, so let's let it roll.
Definitely, not what you want to see.
Yeah, I think you can hear when it goes.
It's just so crazy.
glass breaks.
Did I have the shakes yet?
You got the shakes right around you.
Yeah. I get the adrenaline shakes.
Kind of hear it. This is headphones on. Yeah, first one just went.
There it goes. I saw
Yep.
it fall.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you'll
That's
hear
great.
it say it's so loud. Like it's, yep. Yeah.
Wow. Look at it
there
all.
it
See,
goes.
and there they just all start going. Like there's a bunch of them just broke. That's so crazy. I'm just kind of looking back on this.
Yeah, Derek doesn't know what we're watching, so. Yeah, so now the
There
plate
go-
glass
now
is
the-
starting to come down.
Coming
These
out
things
the side
are
of the
huge.
building. Look at them.
And to add to it, just to give you guys an idea, the wind is so loud. Like, it's the only thing you can hear. I mean, obviously you
more
can
of
hear us talking. You could hear me talking in the stream because we were a little protected. But, like, the fact that you could hear this glass, like, exploding even through all the wind just showed how, like, big.
You can see it
power
like
was.
raining. Like look in the puddles on the street.
Yeah.
You can see, and I'm pointing at a monitor, so I'm not pointing
Yeah.
at you. But
Yeah.
you can see it. Like it looks like
It's
like
like
hail. If you're that look. It looks like hail falling out there.
Yeah. Yeah, Derek had a GoPro in his hand. You can see in the top, the
Yeah, the
right-hand part
top
of the
right
shot.
corner there. That's the little
Footage
red
was
light.
worthless. It was so shaky.
Yeah. So my adrenaline gets going so much in these storms that I shake like this.
All right, so here
So,
we
I don't
see
shoot
this
video
guy
for us.
walking out here.
There he goes, right there in
He
the bottom
tried
right
talking
corner.
to the car, and
I didn't realize it was that fast. Like from the first window to him going out there, I thought
Yeah,
it was
it's-
like it seemed like an hour.
It
It's
was
like
like-
COVID time.
yeah, yep,
Look at him.
yeah.
You see the guy. So you guys hopefully can see the guy down there by the little tree box.
Yep. Okay, Allie didn't film anything.
Derek said keep filming.
Yep,
There it
goes.
is.
Yep. Yeah, it was in our stream. I mean, I typically try to keep it PG, but I had the adrenaline was already pumping at that point. It was just the
It's
panic, like,
it was
oh my
intense.
God,
I mean, you don't know what's gonna happen to the
Yeah.
guy. You know, is that him right there?
Yeah, he was
Something
right
catching
there.
him?
Somebody went and grabbed him. It was I think it was somebody from Reed Timmer was on this, and he was filming his like Cat 6 documentary thing. And there's chasers yelling at him.
I was
so,
like, what are you doing?
yeah.
He was actually injured. We'll talk
Yeah,
about
we'll
that
talk about
here in
that.
just a minute.
Okay, so if you go to the next video, hang on 1 second. Before we go to the next video, this is one that Derek took. He took the audio out from our stream, so you don't have to hear me drop some F-bombs. And we slow it down. This guy got very, very
It's
close
crazy
to dying.
because you can see the glass
Yeah,
just rain on him
yeah,
in the video. It's
yeah. So we have some aftermath. We know that he's okay.
yes, he is okay.
That's
he,
the
he
only
did
reason
survive.
why we keep showing
Yeah.
stuff is we know
Yeah.
that he's okay. He was super embarrassed by it. He reached out to Steve, who was with us, and apologized profusely. So we know he's fine.
Yep.
But-
Luckily, he's able to live and learn, right?
Yeah, hopefully learn.
If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger.
Yeah, doesn't kill you, and learn not to drink and go to a hurricane. So this will show in a little bit of a slow mo how we
I'm
how
excited.
close this dude got to.
I'm excited. We haven't revealed this video, really.
No,
I don't
not
think.
really. Yeah,
Yeah.
here. So this.
Oof.
I think this is pulled directly from our live stream.
It
You just,
is,
like,
yeah. So
zoom-
the quality's not as good, I don't
Yeah.
think, as this because we had to upload it in the middle
Yeah,
of a
yeah.
hurricane, so it, a little pixelated, but it's still pretty crazy.
All right, let's go for it.
All right, so you can see him down there. There he is. He's walking across the street. Now, I can say it's like the wind's not that strong here. I mean, it's strong.
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
like a little
70 to
break.
80 miles an hour.
So he's able to walk.
But he's able to walk, and then the wind just picks up.
Like,
Here it
right-
goes.
like right.
And when it picks up, he can't. 130 miles an hour. He can't stand in it. Now it's pushing him across the parking lot. But it grabs the building now though. And look at the glass at the top.
Here, pause it right here.
Oh,
Well, hang on. Oh.
yeah, we'll take it back. There's
Yeah,
more of it
just roll
too.
it back.
She got more. Look at all that glass.
Yeah, roll it back like a little more.
Right
There.
So if it goes forward like a frame or two,
Stop.
right there. So you can see the glass coming out of the building, and then it's kind of hard to see him because it's dark over there, but you'd see that big white clump.
Yeah.
He's just right on the other side of that white clump.
Yeah, so that's like
And
insulation.
all that
bit of wall.
Yeah, and
lots
pay
of
attention to the splashes, because some of the glass, I mean, you're talking about glass pieces that are, the size of baseballs or.
Yeah. And then there's glass pieces the size of like me.
Yeah, human-sized glass pieces, but the ones that are like, baseball size, which are, I mean, think about like getting hit by a piece of glass that size at 100 miles per hour, just like on your arm or your foot or your wherever. When that hits, I mean, it could cut you up. So look at how much. So watch the water splashes, knowing that he's right there. Watch the water splashes all around him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just glasses just raining down in that water. So it's just raining down on him. So I'm so glad he was okay. Yeah. Because that was scary.
Yeah, that was so. It was the whole hurricane. So the whole process, and you can ask Allie this. You can ask. Well, I guess just you and me. I don't know where Matt was at. He was wandering around. But the only time I was nervous or anything during this whole hurricane was that 45-second period. Yeah. Because I was like, this dude's gonna get Final Destination killed. Like the plate class is gonna chop his head off or something. He's just gonna be there.
You just didn't know what was gonna happen because it was really scary. Yeah. So and he ended up. So he comes back in. He thankfully didn't do anything like that again. He comes back in and he actually comes over and is talking to us.
Yeah. So this is maybe some timeline. This is about an hour later.
Was it actually an hour?
Yeah, I pieced together the time. It was approximately an hour later. This is after our stream was cut out because the cell towers finally went down, and we were just looking and we were in an area where we didn't have any wind, and we were just trying to figure out what we were gonna do. We were getting tired. It didn't seem like we were gonna get in the eye, knowing we were in the eye. And we were trying to get cell service to, contact Leah, and I was trying to get in contact with my parents to let them know we didn't die. And then this dude comes up to us, and he just asked for a beer or a cigarette. Yeah. And we're like, "Excuse me."
Yeah, we didn't bring those, but.
and he looks like, I look at him, and this dude's got blood coming down his face. His whole hand is just blood, and he's just dripping blood from his leg. And like
the crazy part, there was a puddle of blood when he walked away. That's when we realized there was a problem.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking not from his face and his arms. Yeah. It was like coming out of his boot and pouring out onto the ground. So he had lost enough blood to soak through his boot.
Yeah. So.
And these are like heavy duty boots.
He walks away, and we're like, "Oh man, I think that's the dude that almost killed himself." Yeah. Because he's he was like a British guy, and he was just like, "Yeah, guys, it turns out it's like wicked dangerous out there, man. There's glass flying and everything." And we're like,
maybe, yeah.
And we started walking around. We were looking for I don't know what we were looking for. We were doing something, and we walked by, and he was like passing out in like this dude's car. Yeah. And then you can take the rest because you did the rest. I was like, nope.
Yeah. So we walk. So he walks away, and we're like, oh, I think something's wrong. We need to go check up and make sure. So we walk around. We're in a parking garage, so there's like levels. So we kind of walk up a level and go around a corner, and he's over there, and he's with, I think it's with the guy that he came with. We're not for sure, but they didn't have any medical equipment, and so they had his boot off, and they had a tie strap wrapped around his ankle, which is smart. It was, a tunica basically to cut off the blood flow. But he said when he took his boot off, blood was squirting out of his ankle. So he had cut the artery there in his ankle, and so blood was just, it was everywhere. So they had a towel wrapped around it, and they had a tie strap wrapped around his ankle. And we knew that the police were in the parking garage next to us. Now, we were still in 120 mile per hour wind, so you couldn't walk over there. But we knew a vehicle could withstand the wind, and so they could drive over there. But you got to keep in mind, like in the middle of a hurricane, and you've got a pretty serious injury. So, people aren't, especially if you know this person, you're going to be a little bit more maybe not thinking the way that you would. So I remember asking, hey, whose car is this? And the guy was like, it's not mine. And I said, okay, do you know whose it is? I think if we can get him in this car, we can drive him over to the parking garage next to us, and we can get him to the police. They should have some medical stuff that they can treat him with. and all of our medical stuff was in Steve's car, which was also in that other parking garage. So I asked him, I said, do you know his car? He said, no, it's not my car. And I said, okay, do you know whose it is, or where we can get the keys so we can drive it over there? And he's like, well, I got the keys. And I was like, okay, so is it your car? And he's like, well, no, it's not my car. It's a rental. Is it your rental car? Yeah, it's my rental car. We're going, okay, well, now we know. Now we've answered that question. Now we know where we're trying to get to. So we were able to move him around the car, get him in the passenger seat. He was very yellow. He lost a lot of blood. It was scary, but we were able to get that tightened up. They drove him over to the parking garage. Probably ruined the police barbecue that they were having. They were having a barbecue.
Yeah, they were having a full-blown barbecue. Like
that was
when we were scoping out, the police showed up and they were like, "Oh, do you guys mind if you move?" Because they had like a rescue boat and everything, and we're like, "Yeah, that's fine. I mean, if you guys are gonna camp out here," and like they were like excited the fact that the storm chasers were in the parking garage. I was like, "I told you this was like a good spot."
Yeah, yeah. The reason why we didn't stay in it was completely surrounded by apartments. So there was only, I don't even know if the front side was really open because it was blocked off by the other parking garage. But it was dry. There was no rain inside of that parking garage. There was, the wind never blew inside of it. Never even got touched by the wind. So that's why we went to the other parking garage so we can experience the elements. But that it was a great spot for the police to camp out, and they knew they were going to have to be ready to go.
Happened to go. I mean, it was still windy, and they were out trying to
trying to first responders. We gotta love them. So. Awesome work they do, but he definitely started them off a little earlier than what they had planned. We're not sure how he got to the
hospital, but he did make it to the hospital.
Yeah, probably the next morning, I think. So.
All right, so I don't remember what I have as the next video here. We'll find out together. Oh, yeah, the roof is going to blow off.
Oh, is this the Wendy's comes off?
No, it's this. Look right
here. Yeah, wow, look at that.
Yeah, the wind was strong enough at this point, or the building was disintegrating enough where, like, the insulation.
Just all kinds of stuff coming out of it. That's crazy. That's what 140 will do.
Yeah. It's going to be hard to see, but it's in a second here. Like, look towards the top center of the video, and you'll see the roof of this whole atrium section.
Oh, really? The whole roof?
Yeah.
Nice. I think I forgot about that. There it goes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, the reason why this happened, the wind, we were getting closer to the eye at this point, so the wind started shifting more east. So basically, the way this atrium is like kind of set up, you have like it's facing, we're pointed west, like we're looking west, so it's coming from the east, so it's going into those windows and just lifting the roof off instead of. Oh yeah, I'm explaining it.
Yeah. That's great. If you remember, though, like when that glass was coming out, actually the wind's almost out of the north again for a second. But then you can see it kind of trying to flow into an east. And the buildings are playing some of that. But the wind was definitely at the beginning of that consistently blowing out of the east, which, again, showed that we were moving into a different spot in the eye wall, I guess. Again, the wind's not going around it, but going into the center. They're basically trying to get to the center of the eye.
Yeah, where that one area of calm. So the calm area ended up being in Sulphur, Louisiana, literally just on the other side of Lake Charles.
And it was like dead center of the eye. It wasn't like your normal where it was
normally
pretty calm.
When the precip stops and you can see stars, you're good. But we might have been able to see stars, but it was so windy. Like I wasn't gonna go up there, not with all this stuff flying around.
I saw that Nicholas posted a picture that he had where he's like, "Hey, look, you could see the stars."
Yeah,
and he was there with us. So.
They had I think he was like hugging his tripod or something and just pointing it straight up to be like, "Oh, is it clear?" And then, all right, what's the next one we got here? Okay, all right, pause this real quick. Okay, so this is going into why some areas experienced more intense wind than others. So, if you can just drag it back to the very beginning. So, basically, within the inner part of the eye wall, we had basically little mini tornadoes happening, or extra intense. So if you pay attention, it's on the left side of the screen. There is a Wendy's. So when we play the video here, you'll be able to see it. There it goes.
Look at that. You can see it just like.
You see all the roofing material ripping off that Wendy's. Just all kinds of stuff.
Like the wind is definitely straight east. Look at the roof coming off. You can see like the pieces of it just shredding off.
And all the debris. That's why we weren't going outside beyond the parking garage. Just all that little debris.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you think it's like, oh, it's probably nothing, but it's moving quick, and there's glass in there.
Listen to it.
Yeah, I think the loudest gust that we can hear happens in this video towards the end.
Oh, really?
You can hear it in this. That stop sign never knocked over.
Nope. That was like the most popular character in the video. Wow. Notice how like you can see the wind, how it hits the parking lot and like bursts, and it just kind of hits and then expands out. Man, some of those gusts.
Yeah, so this is like the inner.
Look at all the debris. Whoa,
Yeah.
There's a bunch.
Yep.
John thought that was crazy. I'd agree with him. Look at that. See, now you got a north wind again. And then switching back to the east. Just when you think it's as bad as it's gonna get, it gets
Here comes the
gets
loudest
worse.
one. Right here. Or
Wow.
should be like right around here somewhere. Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Matt Van Every. He's one of our.
Yeah.
He was with us as well. So.
Just crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any bad stuff.
Not
He
in
did
that.
well.
Not in that clip. I
did
tried
well.
to splice out most of the swearing.
If you know John, that's good too.
Yeah, I do pretty good on the videos. Is that New Englander? Hang on, before we shift over. So basically, there were a bunch of little vortices like that.
Can you throw the radar up? You can see him in there in that radar image, I think.
Yeah. Hang on.
Just
Get
pretty
this
cool.
iPad back up and rolling here. Should give it a second. There we go.
Yeah, so you can see like the little I don't know if I can read. You can see like these little almost
Yeah,
like
you're
little hook appendages. So like right there.
Yeah.
So everywhere that those are, and those are spinning really fast around,
Yeah.
you know, at over 100 miles an hour. So it's not like you can see them coming and go, all right, I got 10 minutes. Like you see them and then they're there.
Yeah, it's almost like kind of similar, you know, like you guys ever see like a multi-vortex tornado? So you got the big tornado and you got the little baby tornadoes like all within it.
And they spin really fast
Like,
around the
yeah,
tornado.
It's like that. but
The eye
scaled
is
up.
the big tornado. And so you have all these little, you know, these little eddies of wind that are increased and they spin. And so that extra level of spin or shear is what does worse damage.
Yeah, so we had a few of those, and I think one of the damage videos that we have shows the area. I was like by that church or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like
where it was
Charles.
like, man,
Right.
this damage is bad, and then it's like, whoa,
It's like,
what
this is
happened
like a
here?
nuclear bomb went off. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell? Yeah, so that was one of the things we had seen where it really got crazy. And I think at that point, like Reed Timmer like abandoned his cars.
Yeah,
in the video. So,
Yeah.
all right, I think. God, what's the next one?
So exciting. Who knows?
Oh yeah. So this one's gonna have quite a bit of commentary. This is the end of our live stream, where the wind started to shift. We're in the eye at this point, and we get a big gust right here. We all got down, and just off camera, there's this dude in his car. Here, pause the video right here. So this guy he parked his car facing where we'd been videoing pretty much the whole time, And I don't know if he'd never chased a hurricane before or something, but he brought his little French bulldog with him, and he somehow accidentally locked the keys into his car. He lost his keys, and he was like asking us around. He was panicking like really bad because the wind had shifted to coming into the parking garage. That's why I told everyone to get down because, you know, it was getting windy. We were pretty much pegged up against the wall.
It's probably pretty close to when this radar image was shot.
Yeah. So we had a wind pretty much coming from the south, so it was coming right at us, and we had debris and stuff coming into the parking garage. So this dude's freaking out. He's holding on to his car handle for the driver's side door, and when I said everyone get down, the wind hit, and I didn't catch it on camera, but the wind was so strong it ripped the door handle off the car, and he ended up rolling. And at which point I thought, we gotta move. we need to move very soon.
Yeah, it was a strong wind gust for sure.
Yeah.
Starting to shift a little bit.
So
This was
he
yeah,
just
there
got
he is.
back up. There
So
he is.
just picture him holding onto the door handle and then the wind blowing him and him not letting go of the door handle.
And
Who was stronger, the door handle or him?
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but it was pretty intense because the winds would actually, I mean, they would, when I say die down, they would settle to 60, but then they would bounce back up to 120 again. So it was the level of difference was really intense. It wasn't like a gradual increase.
Yeah, like we were at this point we were technically in the eye. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit like we're going, I don't think we're gonna get in the eye wall or in the eye. And little did we know we were actually in the eye. The rain had stopped.
Yeah.
So we got in the eye. The wind was just still so violent.
Yeah, see, like there's the gust.
gusty.
And that would be like you can see these little mist, like this little light pockets of rain, kind of in the eye. And there he is trying to get the door open.
Yeah, well, he was trying to break the window with his
Oh
broken
yeah,
car
that's
handle.
right. Yeah. Yeah. See, like look at that debris.
Yeah.
But it was when the mist would happen or the light rain would happen, the wind would just
20-fold.
I would just go to town. And that's typical. It's going to mix the wind. The rain actually helps pull the wind from the loft down to the surface.
Yeah, so it's really windy about 500 feet up. The rain will push it down.
It's kind of
There
interesting
goes-
how the
look at
rain.
Derek. Look at Derek run. There he goes.
Oh,
Yeah, the dog's in there. Yeah, he was panicking really bad. I felt kind of bad, but I didn't know like what. Yeah, Allie's trying to grab me. You're not dying.
definitely gets a little crazy. But the car again, like we said, the car's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
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 His dog ended up being okay, but he would have been okay staying in the car as well, other than just getting hungry.
Yeah, so we ended up finding the guy will come over in a second here. Someone we had talked to earlier who had been chasing hurricanes since like Rita or something. So his whole SUV was decked out and he had a hatchet. Yeah, this guy right here.
Yeah.
He had a hatchet. He went and he broke the window, grabbed the dog, and then they rode out the rest of the hurricane in the backseat of that guy's SUV. I don't know if he found his keys.
Yeah.
I'm sure he had to do some repairs to his car.
Yeah.
And hopefully when he chases a hurricane.
You know, if there's one spot I wouldn't want to lose my keys, it'd be in a hurricane.
Yeah. Hurricane Florence, the same thing happened. I think when we got stuck on the beach, some chaser went in the water and they lost their keys.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm like, why?
What's worse, your starter going out on your truck on the beach or losing your keys on the beach?
Okay, and at this point, the cell tower went down.
That was the end of
We
it.
made it all the way into the eye before the cell tower went down. For reference, Hurricane Sally, like the video was like, God, you guys are struggling hard with like video.
Yeah, we ended up just recording video for most of Sally, which it got pretty. I mean, we had 125, 130, probably 130 in Sally.
Yeah.
So, I mean, 145 here, 130 in Sally. I mean, it's not a huge difference.
Yeah.
It's pretty intense.
So I think now we're getting into more damage stuff, and then this is where we can kind of
Let's look at it.
All right, so I think this next one, yes, the before and after. So this was sunset. This was the night of hurricane.
Yeah, so like 3 hours later, we were in like hurricane force winds.
So we had an awesome sunset.
Look at the
here.
sunset, yeah.
And then the video makes a hard cut too.
This
is our first visual of it. This was like right after we lost.
Look at that. Looks like something out of like one of those like movies, like like Independence Day or like one
the
of
Roland
those.
Emmerich movies.
Yeah.
Day After Tomorrow. So,
Yeah.
So
I think that's how I felt when I saw like stuff blowing out of the windows and
Yeah.
stuff. It's like, whoa.
yeah, because once
Are
that
we
glass
really
broke,
seeing this?
the pressure went and it just sucked everything out. It'd probably be similar to what happened if like a tornado like went through downtown Oklahoma City or something.
Yeah.
Break the windows and suck a bunch of stuff out.
Just crazy.
Yeah. And then I think this next one, this was the next morning.
Look at that. Like, there's not a window.
I know. I say put a like or comment if you went and took a picture of yourself while working
Yeah, sure.
by this building.
Share
I saw
your-
a lot of this in my news.
Share your picture of this. Yeah, look at that.
Yes, that's a lot of plate glass. It's like 20
All of
something
it
stories.
came out.
Good morning to everyone. We're
Still
live
shocking
from Lake
just
Charles,
watching it.
Louisiana.
I was actually
This is the
sick the
Capital
whole
One
time.
building.
Yeah, Derek usually is very excited and boisterous, and during
you
this
can see,
chase, he was.
You can see
I think it was
right
about
in
11 o'clock. He was like, I'm tired. I just want to go to bed.
Yeah, I think I had like a low-grade fever, and
Yeah.
we're outside in the rain.
and everything.
Yeah.
It's not exactly warm. I mean, it's warm, but it's not warm either.
Yeah. It's not 90.
Because you're just so wet. You just end up.
Escalators completely exposed. All the glass broken out.
Look at that.
Every single pane on this bottom floor
Yeah, you can tell
area.
you're sick in this.
And then
We had gotten like what, an hour and a half of garbage sleep
In a truck with your head like crooked over on the side.
Yeah, I had no leg room or anything. It was, but we were just so the adrenaline crash from this is so wild. It's like
The hardest part is driving home from here.
Yes.
12 hours.
Yeah, and like everyone
And we did it
evacuated
all.
from about Beaumont,
Yeah, there's no hotels.
so
You're
we
just-
didn't even get food until we got to like north of Houston,
Yeah, Huntsville area, I think.
which was rough as well.
Yeah. Some good food though.
Yeah, so here, this is where one of those tornado vortices kind of went through.
So you can see like there was like typical damage. This is what it looked like everywhere.
Yeah, but you
But
goes
then
forward a second, like the camera will pan, and you'll see.
you know, it's really bad damage. But then when you turn, it's like, whoa, what happened up here?
Yeah, like this whole church got annihilated. Steve's a trooper. He didn't sleep at all until we were
I
driving
know.
home.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that,
just crazy.
I don't know if we had anything else.
I wonder if anybody watching
Yeah.
does this. Ooh, yeah, this was the radio tower. We didn't even hear that fall.
Yeah, we
know
didn't
what
hear it
happened.
fall at all, and it was not very far from our location.
It was really close.
Yeah. And this whole other radio tower. So the radio
Yeah.
tower ended up falling into the news station there.
Mm-hmm. Collapsed right on top of
Yeah.
it. It's like it
Which is-
swung down.
Which is
and
wild.
then
I think that's the last video
Hit it.
that I had scrubbed for this, because if not, we would have been here for hours. So here I'll
So we have,
do.
like, all
So
these
here's
before and afters.
this is a before of that.
That's what it looked like. Look how nice
before,
that building was.
And then this was after. And I had it like set up right, but I guess it decided to change itself. So this was one of the areas that's right where the radio tower was. You know,
Yep.
again, shout out to Allie. We get there early enough where we can scout out, but we also
Took a bunch of before
took a
photos.
bunch of before and after photos to kind of give you that perspective of how destructive, like
See
the
the
whole
whole-
top end of this building.
So notice the bricks are not on the ground. That's because they fell in on the roof. So all of it fell into the center of the building
Yeah,
and collapsed the roof and destroyed the entire center part.
yeah,
This is like historic down. I mean, it says on the building, but
yeah,
it's like historic buildings. Been there forever.
yeah, and they got completely destroyed. And this was how was this,
It's
like a little
Main
antique
Street
shop or
Yeah.
something.
Mhm.
And then here,
Just
you know,
everything.
all those
completely.
windows blew out, and like all the stuff inside got destroyed. Like nobody really boarded up because it was like last second. It was like, oh, we're going directly over Lake Charles.
Yeah.
Like when we were driving down there the day before, we were
It's Houston.
thinking Houston, and then
Mhm.
so I think
And then it was like Port Arthur.
Yep.
And then it was now Lake Charles.
yeah. And this was directly across the street from like the apartments that we were kind of utilizing. And then I mean, just all the
Just
debris
like all
on
the
the ground.
debris. That's like rocks and stuff too. Look at
Yeah.
that.
Big rocks, and just don't know where the sheetrock's coming from. And I mean, people kind of
Yeah,
walking
just-
around dazed because of all of this.
It's like that everywhere too.
Yeah. So
Just crazy. I mean, $14 billion
yeah,
in damage.
yeah. I mean,
So
like my news feed's filled with a lot of people in the roofing industry, and I felt like almost every single one went down there. I mean, kudos the recovery effort. I mean, we get out of there pretty much as quickly as we can, so we don't become victims. So we don't want to
be in the way.
We're willingly becoming participants in this. We don't want to take away resources from those who actually need.
Bunch of people though went down there with trailers and
Yeah.
food and water and
Yeah.
Just
We helped
really-
move a
really
tree
helping
away
out.
from the road
We did,
initially,
yep.
and then we got out of there so we could, again, I mean, I think our way of helping was the fact that we were streaming it, and I know a lot of our followers
bringing
checked out our stuff.
attention to it and,
Yeah.
and still right now. I mean, it's catastrophic down there.
And they were
So-
hit again a couple months later
Delta.
by Delta, so which
They had 70 to 75, maybe 80
I mean,
there.
it's just-
So
yeah,
still,
you're putting lemon juice in a cut at that, so
yep.
it's not
So-
helpful.
Definitely was the big event of the year. Hail or wind, doesn't matter. This was it.
Yeah.
Wind kind of took the cake this year in the U.S. or
Yeah,
last year.
I mean, our number 2 one was the derecho in Iowa and Illinois.
$7 billion.
That would have been number 1 probably almost any other year,
Mm-hmm.
not counting like perspective. Katrina and Harvey both did like $125 billion in damage, but flooding was a major factor for that. So I think the fact that this was basically just the wind damage has made it even more impressive. So
Yep. Absolutely crazy.
I don't know if anybody had any questions or anything that came in.
Yeah.
I wasn't seeing.
We can definitely go back and watch the chat
Yeah.
and see
Go
if
back,
anybody's
check
got
chat,
anything
we
to
can
say.
answer stuff. Again, is there any other stuff that you wanted to bring up, talk about?
I don't think so. If people
Yeah.
have any questions, we're
Yeah.
we're definitely open. If there's something you see there that you can't explain, ask us.
Yeah.
We're open. Talk about what it might look like from a meteorological standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
But that's Hurricane Laura. We'd
Yeah.
love talking about it and showing you the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And
Yeah, trying something new, something different.
new set. This is gonna be fun. We're gonna interview a lot of people through here now. So excited. If you're interested in being interviewed, let us know.
Yeah, we got all other kinds of things we want to try out. So,
Yeah, lots of cool stuff coming in 2021 for the health forecast is getting upgraded, and it's gonna be some cool stuff.
oh yeah,
Excited.
2021 hail forecasts coming soon to Dallas.
We're gonna do Dallas and
OKC.
Oklahoma City.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Early February, first week of February.
Yep. second and third, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
So, well, you'll be seeing that on our page.
Yep.
Like and follow our page. Let's see. What's all the stuff I do at the end of the video here? Do you know all the stuff that I do at the end of the video?
Absolutely not.
So happens Derek only does the videos on a 5-star map day. So basically, follow our Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all Hail Trace at See First on Facebook, so you don't miss any notifications like events like this. Also, give us a call at 855-334-4245. I see your head nodding there, Andrea. For if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, you want to get ready for 2021. I mean, this is where you can shine.
We got
give us a call.
lots of cool stuff that we can do. Ask us. We got new software coming out that we're going to be rolling out here in the next 2 to 3 weeks ish. Really, really excited about that. And so give us a shout. info@hailtrace.com, 855-334-42 or is it 334-4245. Don't say that enough, do I? Yeah.
He doesn't know the phone number to his own company.
I know.
How
I
embarrassing.
know. I don't call it that often.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here.
So yeah, give us a call. You can message us as well on our website,
Yeah,
hailtrace.com, Facebook, all that stuff. We're always here, happy to answer any questions, get you ready for 2021, all that great
Make you
stuff.
some money.
Love to hear from you. Make you have the best 2021 you possibly can have. It's top 2020.
Yep. So is that it? Are we done?
Yeah, we're done.
Talking?
All right.
Take care,
See
guys.
you guys.